The story of Dublin's Crystal Palace. Ireland in the 1850s was a world of extremes. Many were still haunted by the Great Famine of the previous decade. Over 1.1 million people had been forced to emigrate between 1851 and 1861, while many more were living in what would become the notorious Dublin tenements. However, there were also those who had benefited in recent years. Bankrupt landlords had sold estates, while others had survived, and a new ruling class consolidated itself. In cities, industrialists had prospered, and it was this world of extremes, of immense poverty and great wealth, that produced Dublin's Crystal Palace. Indeed, it was the class who had prospered in the aftermath of famine who planned what was the greatest exhibition of industry and trade, in effect an exhibition of their wealth, that Ireland had ever seen. This was the Great Dublin Exhibit of 1865. It was modelled on the great London exhibitions of 1851 and 1862. There, a massive exhibit hall, the Crystal Palace, a huge structure of steel and glass, had been built, and Dublin was no different. A city centre location, a 15-acre site beside Stephen's Green, was chosen. This area, then known as Coburg's Gardens after the British royal family, was transformed. In time, the massive Crystal Palace would be built, but first a concert hall measuring 5,700 square yards was erected. This is still there today in the National Concert Hall. In the grounds behind the concert hall, a Crystal Palace was built. The Crystal Palace was a remarkable structure, albeit smaller than its London counterpart. A steel frame plated with glass, it was completed by 1865, when a British Army regiment, the 78th Highlanders, marched through it, testing the soundness of the structure. In the following weeks, exhibits came from across the world, including Mauritius, Natal, Newfoundland, New South Wales and Nova Scotia. In May, the Crystal Palace and the fair itself were opened by the guest of honour, the Prince of Wales. For the merchant class of Dublin and those prospering in Irish society, it was a resounding success, with everything from food to machinery being displayed. However, the life of Dublin's Crystal Palace was short-lived. It was dismantled in the 1870s. The site where it stood is one of Dublin's city centre parks today, the Ivy Gardens. Check out more videos on Irish history at my YouTube channel,